Good evening, and welcome to episode 49 of the DSMC live chat Sunday evening conversation with Martin, who's in Australia at the minute, by the looks of it. I don't know why, for whatever reason, he's upside down. It's just, you're right there, Mart. All he's done is, we've lost his sound and he's upside down. All he's done is move rooms. Yeah, don't know what you've done, son. Turn it round. There he's another great start. Well, we'll let Martin play about for a minute. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Regulars. Good to see you guys. Welcome along. Oh dear, it's not going well in the Dare household. Welcome to this week. I'm joined, well, it's PJ here, obviously from Midlife Models and the DSMC, and my DSMC colleagues, Phil from Yorkie Diecast Workshop, Luke from Scale Customs, and Martin Dare, who's gone. That didn't last long, did it? He'll be back. We may be joined by MOS later on. I know he's gone to a show today, I believe, in Cardiff. I think if Gary will correct me if I'm wrong. I think Gary's in the chat and Gordy. Can you hear us, Mark?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm on the right way around now.
Yeah, you're right way around. Now you've got sound back. We'll give him a chance to settle down. It's a bit stuttery.
Oh, I'm doing it to Mick now.
Oh, it's gone upside down again. What you've done.
What's going on there then? If I take it off.
Can you not turn his screen, PJ?
No, not that much.
Well, I just moved it off from my hand and I put it on the stand like that and it went gone weird.
You know what they say, switch it off, switch it on again.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, sorry about this, folks. Last time it was audio. We managed to sort all that, and now it's I don't know. He's very good at his diecast restorations, but he's bloody garbage with an iPad. Bless him. He'll be back. As I say, good evening to our regulars. It's good of you guys to join us again for a Sunday evening. This week, we're going to be talking about advancements in techniques. We didn't think the decal one would last as long as it did, but we only got through half the questions we was going to ask. So hopefully, we'll have the same thing tonight. We've got a list of questions forever supplied by Chat GPT. I got it right this time. I was saying AGT, America's Got Talent, last night, so I got that wrong. So what we'll do is we'll just give Martin a minute. So we'll check in with Luke. He's back again. Let's.
He is.
There. Don't touch it.
Well, I've got to move it onto now. I'm going to move it onto my stand.
Oh yes, we have. Now we've got his sound. Let's see if we can just turn his volume up a bit.
How's that?
That's all right. You're quiet, but it's all right. That's it. Don't move it anymore. Don't move it up. Leave it. Get back. Get back. So just to recap, good evening to Martin. Finally, he's back from his trip down to down under, back in home base. So yeah, we're going to be talking about advancement in techniques, which have been an interesting subject. We'll see how it goes, but we'll go around the houses first and just check in with what people have been doing. So I know Martin, myself, and Luke have put videos up this week. Me for the first time in goodness knows how long. So please visit Scale Customs, Martin Dares, and Midlife Models, and go and check out the builds that we've done recently, and subscribe if you haven't already, but I suggest everybody here has. So thank you for that in advancement. And breathe. Luke,
Good evening, everyone.
Do some.
So, you all watched the video? I turned the Mark 1 Slido Fiesta into an XR2. That video is up, go and watch it. I'm doing something different for Thursday. Or it's certainly different for me anyway. I have done this model before, Mark 2 Zappa.
Oh, nice.
This is by Corgi, this one. But I'm going to be weathering this, rusting it out. It's going to be lowered on some nice shiny wheels. We're going to have big blower sticking through the bonnet.
Let me blow you up there, not literally, but
Set the belt drive for it and that.
why can't we?
There you go.
There you go. Show us again. Show us the car again, Luke.
Right, yeah. The Mark 2 Zappa.
There you go.
So I'm thinking of putting an odd coloured door on. Probably take one of the stripes off the side. Probably drill some little holes, make it look like a door trim is missing. And then I'm just going to do some of that rusting effect on it, bit of chipping solution, and just see how we get on. Hoping it comes well. I've never done it before, so we're going to have a supercharger sticking through the bonnet. That's part of it there.
Nice.
And then there is obviously you got the top hat for it.
Flutes on that.
And then obviously the throttle body, you've got these printed all separate, so it'll be nice and easy to detail. I've done the wheels and tyres. They come nice, they did.
Beautiful.
I have got one with a disc on somewhere, but I can't find it.
What, you having fatties on the back and then narrows on the front, or?
No, they're all going to be sort of the same sort of profile, Martin, but it's going to be obviously lowered down onto it. Hold on, I'll just put that on there. This is just a mock-up wheel that I'm using. I've just detailed quickly. You can see the disc behind it.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Nice, mate.
Yeah.
So they should look sitting quite low in there. They should look quite tidy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing the paint. We'll have a go with it next couple of days. Hopefully that comes all right.
So, are they? Did you have a crack at the 16K?
Yeah.
Is that what you printed down?
Well, mate, yeah. You know what? I put it loaded all in and built on the plate, and it was just tiny on there compared to the.
Is there anything there? Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. Luke's had a new 3D printer. I think we've both got the same now, so
yeah,
it's going to be full pedal to the metal on 3D.
I'll definitely be able to print some bodies off. Complete bodies, 125th. Probably you might even get a 118 on there, I reckon.
Yeah, yeah.
The build plate's massive on it.
Good stuff. Good to see.
Yeah, that's where I'm up to. So there'll be something different for next week's video rather than a shiny paintwork. We're going to have something weathered and rough and rough.
Is it going to call it? And if there's any Americans on here, they'll shoot me to pieces. In a rat effect that you're going for?
Yeah, it's going to be so it's going to have nice shiny crown wheels. The engine's going to be nice shiny. Obviously, the glass in the interior will be nice, but the body will be weathered out, rusted up. I'm going to leave it matte. I'm not going to lacquer it, but I'm still going to do all the details to it. So I'm going to crown the windows, do the trims.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother re-crowning the bumpers because they're quite weathered as they are, but I'm going to try and put a rust effect on them and just see how it comes out. Got nothing to lose. A bit of fun, if anything else, in it.
Look at this sarky bugger. Gentleman, and I use that term loosely. Hi, Jerry.
Right, Jerry.
Hi, Russ. Good to see you guys, Julian.
And you, Russ.
Phil, up to much?
Diecast wise, no, not so much. I've done a bit of renovating at home this week. So I did get the Volkswagen bus posted for the monthly DSMC challenge. That was one I got done. Currently got in undercoat. I don't know whether you saw. Probably it was a midweek one. You know, the Renault 5 that I showed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I managed to get that stripped. I spent about 2 or 3 hours sanding and prepping that. It was quite a few, not pits, but divots in the metal, certainly on the roof. So that took a while to do. And then I'm gonna strip these after the show tonight, which was that bus that I picked up.
So,
Get that in the stripper.
Show you again, Phil.
And the pickup.
That's nice, that is.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have a go at weathering with this one as well.
I would, Phil.
Yeah, I think that'll look pretty cool. So, sorry, that was the bus, PJ, yeah. The Greyhound.
Nice, mate.
Yeah, I look forward to that, especially if I can get that roof nice and smooth. That'll look pretty cool. Probably just do it in silver, actually, like the old Greyhound buses were. So that's it for Diecast, really. And then Hot Wheels. You can see them at the back there. I've just picked up a couple more Ford Escorts. One of them were a bit rare, but I got that from a local shop. So yeah.
What he's not showing you because of his screenshot. And I'm not saying he's not showing you. It's because of how his camera's set up. But it has extended past the door now.
Yeah, it goes up. It goes both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Full throttle on the old Hot Wheels there. Good stuff.
That's partly Martin's fault as well, that though.
Yeah. And of course, my partner in crime, Mr. Martin there. Mark, you've been up to some?
Yeah, I've been working on a little Ford Thames van by Husky, little Husky. I thought I'd pick out a little Husky. I've not done a Husky for a long time, and it's a Ford Thames van. It did have a ladder on it and an aerial TV type aerial thing, if you know the one I'm on about.
Yeah.
With opening back doors. I can't show it because it's up in the shed. I just took off the ladder stays off the top there and filled the hole in where the air will go. So it's just basically a van now. And I'm doing it in a polar grey. I've just wet and dried the undercoat down, and I've put a bit of chrome on the wheels. So yeah, that's coming together nicely. Fingers crossed. But me fire ran out of gas today, so I couldn't. I hope to get it painted today, but I didn't get a chance because the fire ran out. So off down to the marina tomorrow to get a new gas bolt, and I've been looking at doing, because I picked out a few what I want to do, because all the rest of the stuff is all packed away in boxes in various nookie holes while I'm trying to move stuff around. So I've took an handful of models out that I want to do in the course of this month and whatever. So yeah, I've got to pick out a Dinky for the next challenge, and yeah, just working through it at the minute. Waiting for the weather to pick up because
I think that's.
I might as well get wet feet round here now because it's that wet round here.
So, yeah, we got trout going uphill here. That's our
swimming upstream. Yeah. All our potholes are full of water now, so we've got a lake. Yeah.
Me, myself, and I, as I say, no shame really. I managed to get the video done and did the BMW M1. Shout out to Luke. Did give me a shout out on the video. Who supplied me with the files for doing the wheels. We were talking about stickers and decals. Just turn it upside, don't drop it. Put a fresh set of stickers on. We was talking about stickers and decals. And we're at 430 odd members on the DSMC Facebook group. So paying homage to that. Thank you for all those that have joined. And as Martin says, I'm determined to try and do every build this year, if nothing else. Picking out a Dinky for next month. I think that's the beauty of doing the Dinkers and Cougars. We've usually got quite a chunk of change to go through to get a suitable model. It's when we start getting a little bit too specific with spot-ons and things like that where we might struggle. So we try and keep it very generic. A shout out also to the guys here and those that have donated to our cause for our licensing, etc. Thanks to Phil. I'll bring this up. No shame again. We've now got a QR code that you can scan with your mobile phone. I'll bring it up at the end as well. You can scan that with your mobile phone, and if you want to be a benefactor and get a shout out in our monthly videos, by all means, you can use that and donate or become a benefactor to the group. We've got a scheme now, so you can see where those that have donated a minimum of £10 have now got a gold shield next to the name in the videos. So much appreciation. It keeps us going, keeps the lights on, and it's, as I say, much appreciated. So we've been around the houses. We know where we're all doing, where we're all going. Let's have a go at these questions.
Well, see you next week then.
Yeah. Question 1. And if you've got any questions about tools, techniques in the chat, by all means, drop them in there if we don't cover it in this session or in these questions, and we'll get back to you or try and answer it on live if we can. Question 1. How have modern paint stripping methods reduced damage to original die-cast metal compared to older chemical techniques? Now, I suppose some of these are going to fall on Martin's shoulders, unfortunately, without being ageist. What's the oldest, or what was one of the first paint removal solutions did you use, Martin, that you're probably not using anymore and found a new way?
Blowtorch and scraper. No, I think the first time I were doing paint stripping on metal models or die cast as such was when Nitromos was original Nitromos, not the watered down version they have now. And I think there was a few of the standard ones you'd be able to buy in like B&Q and places like that, DIY shops at the time. I'm probably going back maybe 30 years, something like this. That Nitromose was pretty potent. You know, you think you got caustic soda on your hand and it burnt, you get Nitromose on your fingers. And the old Nitromose, it would feel like you was getting, it was quite potent stuff. And that would affect things like this. I don't think, I might be wrong, somebody in the comment in the section might tell me, but I don't think caustic soda was widely used that far back. But I think it's mostly the paint stripping gels at one point. I think thinners as well was used a lot. Cellulose thinners was used a lot as well. I just remind me looking at Luke actually, because I thought, well, yeah, the cellulose man. I have used cellulose thinners on metal. It was a bit potent, obviously. You know, masks and everything else has to be worn. Definitely had to be worn with that. But yeah, as I would say, cellulose and Nitromose were I think they were the lethal weapons back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day when we were kids, you know, we were surrounded by fields, and you'd find loads of old scrap bike frames, push bike frames, like, and Nitromose was the go-to stuff to remove it. In the tin, it was. I don't know if it comes in a plastic bottle now, but it used to come in a tin. You could always tell you got one because it was rusted on top. It was hard to get the bloody top off after about 12 months. But the stuff was, you're quite right, Mark, it was lethal. I don't think we had any concept that it could burn your hands or anything like that back then as kids. But yeah, and I think a lot of chemicals have been taken out of the paint stripping now to make them less effective.
So
Caustic,
yeah, a lot.
you know, innit?
Yeah. Luke, anything you probably
Yeah.
are you still using the same method that you started with, or have you changed?
No, I started with sandblasting. Now, great job for stripping the paint. I wouldn't say it damaged the casting, but it definitely left tiny, like, service rough. But it wasn't a bad thing anyway with painting it.
Yeah.
And Martin touched on it with the finish then. So that there is a evidence, or was the paint, of that. I put that in the caustic, and it laughed at it. The modern castings, they use vinyl paint, so it's like rubberized, but you drop it in some finish, and it just peels off like an orange.
All right.
I was just saying that when my mic went off. Actually, there probably is an argument for whether the modern strippers are as effective.
Yeah, it just laughed at the caustic. That they didn't even touch it. Dropped it in the finish, 10 minutes done.
Yeah, albeit the more user friendly, they're probably not as good.
Yeah,
No. I think that's the problem I had. I can't remember how much of it I included in the video, but Luke sent me some caustic soda over, and the stuff just went through a tin foil tray like it wasn't there. It dissolved it. But I think you're quite right, Luke. I think that was it had a vinyl paint job.
Yeah,
because it took the yellow off and left it as orange, but it didn't take all the paint off by any stretch of the imagination. And you can tell when you're doing some of the dippings that the paint just disintegrates, where other ones, as you quite rightly pointing out, it's more flaky, and you're getting a tool to just peel it off like.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you're quite right, mate. Phil, do you use what's your go-to?
Well, majority of the cars I do restorations on are old, so yeah, 100% caustic soda is fine for what I do.
Yeah.
Plus, it's very rarely that there's anything bigger than that going in. So there's always a jar or a tin that I can do it with.
Yeah.
It's not like a bike frame or anything like that.
Yeah,
we don't live in Swadville, you see, and there's a lot of dodgy bike frames around Swadville.
A lot of dodgy bike frames, mate. Yeah. Weld a chopper to a racer, we've done it all.
I did once do my BMX.
Yeah. BMX, yeah, that was the next biggest thing, wasn't it? Yeah. But caustic, you've got to be. I mean, we're not. It's not for us to tell people what to use, but be bloody careful with caustic soda. I mean, I've seen a glass explode. What it did to that tin tray, I was gobsmacked. That was the one that you sent me over, Luke. It was.
Yeah.
I thought caustic soda was caustic soda. No.
But even that wouldn't strip that paint off that Zephyr.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've had some with, even smaller matchbox with a newer paint on, won't touch it. More, I don't know what it is. It's mostly yellows and reds. I've had a few blues where it's not touched it. I'm thinking, flipping heck. You got to take it out and get on the gel on and everything else. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain.
Yeah, Jerry saying I haven't experimented with it yet, but floor wax stripper.
Floor wax.
Might work on removing paint on windscreens and some castings. Yeah. If it works, it's cheaper than other chemical strippers. Top tip.
Well, yeah, anything to strip the paint off if you can get it all off. Yeah, be great.
All right. Complete change of route. Question 2. In what ways has airbrushing technology improved the realism and consistency of finishes on restored models? Now, obviously, if you're of an age, you started with an airy stick, and that was your go-to tool. So, start with Phil this time. Have you done any airbrushing, Phil?
Very little. Mostly rattle cans that I use, but I do some airbrushing. I do some. but I've not done it that long, so the techniques I use are all quite modern anyway. Yeah.
I think you could include rattle cans in with airbrushing because it's the same kind of era, really. What realism it brings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think paints and paint finishes have gone pro level now anyway. The quality of paints in rattle tins has improved massively from pearlescent to there's all sorts available now.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, airbrushing has changed a lot since it first came out. I think my first ever go at an airbrush was a aerosol can of pressurized air and a cap that you screwed on the top. I think it was a Badger did it, or Humbrol did it anyway. It was blue, and you had a jar underneath with a siphon tube, and you screwed this airbrush to the top of the can. There was no pullback or any of the fancy pullback techniques. It was just like press and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I made a right mess of it when I first used that because I didn't really know. I was using enamel paint because that's what we had at the time. You know, mixed up the enamel paint, try to put it in without thinning it down, and I was getting a mess. Then the can would run out, and then I was trying to hold the can. But yeah, once I got the hang of it and what have you, it's quite. In fact, I've still got one up in the shed somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, if you come across it, it'd be interesting to see it. Yeah.
I've got an old one in the shed. Yeah, so that was what it was, because that's changed a lot now, because as time's gone on and techniques have progressed, they originally, when they started getting them better quality airbrushes, they were expensive at the beginning, very expensive, like Hyder and Steenbeck and all that sort of thing. You know, they were expensive. You got your real bottom of your level one that I was using, but they got expensive, and then now they've evened out. You got a lot of the stuff coming from the Chinese market, a lot of copies, and it's all evened out. But the capability of the spray airbrushes now, you got the trigger ones like Luke's got, you got the top ones, you've got the air mass underneath, you've got a lot. You know, water traps included, and you can dismantle them. They got the proper nylon seals rather than the old tape PTF tapes what you dissolve when you clean them. The quality of the brushes are good. All the metal inside is nice and smooth. So yeah, airbrushes have improved enormously since the early days. And yeah, I do use an airbrush every now and again. If I don't mix the needles up, like I've done in the past. Got the wrong needles in the wrong flipping things. I tend to, I have got an expensive Hardy and Steenbeck, but I tend to use the cheap ones for what I use. If I break it or damage it, I can just chuck it, you know.
Yeah.
But regarding aerosol cans, like Phil was saying, yeah, they've improved over the years, because I think years ago you get the Duplo colour paints. I think if you go to an auto jumble now, you'll probably still find some old Duplo paints, you know, for a Morris Minor or a Morris Oxford or something like that. I won't want to use it, but it'll still be there. It's still there. They've improved a lot. I think the quality of the paint, obviously, over the years, with the health and safety with paints and the way they've changed the makeup of the paints, they have got better and better. And like Phil said, now you can get your pearlescence and you get all the other stuff now. You can get your satins and what you couldn't get before in an aerosol can. And yeah, so that has changed a lot.
I mean, you can even get interchangeable caps with different flow patterns and all sorts on your rattle cans now.
Yeah, you can.
Luke boy, in your 15 years of age, we kid him. As techniques, I mean, you've probably done more airbrushing.
Yeah, I've only picked the airbrush up only like 2 years ago, really. What I have noticed, I started with it cheap nasty ones, guns first of all, like everybody else. What I have found that the Mac valves on the cheap guns are no good. That either the air's on or it's off.
Yeah.
The more you pay for the gun, you will get better quality, like anything else. The Mobius one I've got, the gallery gun, that Mac valve, I was so impressed with that the other day when I was using it. You can really trim the air down. But today, really, depending on what you want, one gun will do the lot, because they have interchangeable air caps, needles, needle guides. So it's all there. Well, you can go from point 0.2, I think, up to 0.6, or just on one gun.
And is the Mac valve? Excuse my ignorance, although I've got one. Is the Mac valve on the air inlet, or is it on the gun itself?
On the air inlet, it trims it just at the back of the needle.
Yeah.
Just for the air. Now, obviously, you've got your paint feed right at the back of the gun then.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have come a long way. Say a long way. I was using cheap ones at first, but I'm only mid-range sort of stuff that I'm using now. But the quality is definitely there.
I think just for my two.
Can I just interrupt a minute? What is, just for the sake of some people who don't know, and I'm not all up on it, what actually does the benefits of the Mac valve then do then, Luke?
When you're doing fine work, Martin, obviously the more air it's flowing through, the wider that spray pattern is going to be. Even though you trim your paint down, it's still a lot of velocity of air coming through the needle. If you trim that back, I could basically, with that Mobius gun, I've still got it in the lens. So that one there, you can see it.
Yeah.
One there, I got it virtually as thin as a pen. You could sign your name with it.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Just by trimming the air.
Well, Gremlins is saying that's not the Mac valve.
Cutting the airflow. Sorry.
Just cutting the airflow, yeah. I tend not to stop the paint too much, because you get it with your finger anyway. Because sometimes if you block it right off to when it's just coming through, you can get a little spurt of paint just as you're coming on. So you're better having it open, and it allows the needle to come back a bit more freer rather than stopping it right at the end.
Yeah. So a little bit of air.
A little bit of air, that's all you need, just for fine detailing stuff. But yeah, I was really impressed with that the other day.
Russ is asking, has anybody used the nail art mini airbrush like on Amazon?
I've seen that. I've seen it. I've not used it. I use the one I use. The one I use is that, which is actually cheaper, I think, than that nail art gun, which I think that's just over 20 quid.
Yeah. I've used the one lot Michael used to have, with the self-charging one with a big chunky bottom, and the airbrush sits on top. You know what I mean? It's the charging when you self-charging. No cables, no leads. You charge it up, and the airbrush screws in the top, and that's your compressor you're holding in your hand. You know what I'm on about? Yeah, I've used that.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Not very powerful though. They're a bit weak.
Yeah.
Gremlins is pointing out, and there might be a bit of confusion here, Luke. The Mac valve, because when you talk about the one on the back of the airbrush, can you just bring that one?
The paint.
Yeah. You're on about the Mac valve that goes on the pipe that goes to the bottom of the airbrush.
That's the Mac valve there.
Oh, you've got. It depends on your airbrush. Yeah,
that trims the air. That trims your paint. But if you wind that in too far, and then you're coming onto the job, and just as you pull the trigger, because you've blocked it where it comes in here, you've tightened it right up all the way through to the needle. You get a little splurt of paint.
Yeah.
If you just have the needle loosen at the back, you don't get that.
Yeah. If you just take your fingers, if you just bring it up again, mate, and just take your fingers off the middle. Yeah. So where your airline goes up to the gun itself.
Yeah.
I've got it like a click-on Mac valve, and then that goes up to the bottom of the airbrush.
So the Mac valve clips onto your airline.
Yeah.
They're not that good then, PJ.
Oh, I've been told off already. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do ammunition.
Only because I've tried up. I've already been on it, mate.
I did
you're
find,
back-
in my defence,
you're-
I did find it adjusted the air better than
Yeah.
on some of the cheaper airbrushes.
Really, depending on what you're doing, I can adjust the air because I've got an air trap. I've got 2 air traps up there by the compressor.
Yeah.
I turn what pressure I want there. I can turn it down as well, really, and just have it coming to the brush like that. But that little Mac valve does work on this airbrush, and it's the first one I've used where it works.
Yeah, right.
The others have just been a gimmick, really.
So the back screw then at the back of the airbrush, not only does it limit your set your pull back as well, so you don't back too much. So if you do that, adjust your paint flow as well then.
That trims your paint, yeah. That's how much paint you let me through.
So if you squeeze it in, it's less paint. If you're bringing it out, it's more paint.
It's more paint there. But I found it's just what I was playing about with it. If you put it to where you just pull it back and it's just letting a little bit of paint through, when you let off and come back on again, you're getting a little spurt of paint.
Yeah.
But I found if I wound the needle a little bit more, the back, it never happened. So just something I picked up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one. I use it for more of a. That is, if I'm painting anything and I want to keep it at a steady flow, I screw it in so I can't put. I won't be allowed to pull the needle back any further.
Yeah.
Then you know what I mean. Once I've got it set to how I want it aligned, if I'm doing a camo, then if I've got freehand, if I just for one instant push it back further, I'll get more paint than I needed. So I usually set that to stop myself going back any further. Yeah, like a bench stop, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, the stop. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to even attempt to butcher this, but good evening, Jim. I brought the
galleries,
mini compressor.
My South Derbyshire accent won't get the tongue around that. And a simple airbrush for 60 quid, and as a starter kit, it's about the best. Yeah. If you find something that suits you, you got the technique to use it. Why spend hundreds?
Well, that's it. I think some of the times with the really cheap Chinese ones, which I use a lot of those when I'm doing priming mostly, is the smoothness of the cup inside, where your paint goes in the cup. You can feel it's rough, really, really rough. Where they've not polished it. So I tend to do when I get those, I'll get the old wet and dry and polish it all out. Get it take the cup and clean it out, get it as smooth as I can.
Yeah.
Because them are rough as heck, and I find the needles aren't that strong that they easily bend the tips off them if you're not careful.
I think modern primers are a lot better, Martin, as well, because they just show so much detail through them, as the old ones covered most of it.
Yeah, they did.
I'm guessing that's the thickness.
Yeah.
Is it viscosity, not the alchemy?
Viscosity. Viscosity then.
But with the, the fact that you can now, like I did with the BMW, go to a shop and buy a BMW iCoat paint. You're treating it as though you're doing a proper car. You're giving it the proper car colour or a version of. And I totally agree with what Phil's saying. I've always liked the Tamiya thin grey primer, but again, it's you work within your budget, don't you? Because it's gone up. I think it was $6.99 when I first bought it. It's up to $9.99 now.
Yeah, it's about $9. I bought the last one I bought was about £9 or something. Depending where you get it, what markup they give on you. But I tell you, it does last. It's a good paint.
It's not like two crisps in a bag of Walkers, is it? It's
But I will say that the airbrush, using an airbrush, has got an advantage that there's a lot of paints out there that you can mix and match, and get down to like custom paint jobs, different colours, whereas we're limited to a certain extent with the aerosols, what's on the market, unless you go into the graffiti paints and stuff like this, which is going to be expensive.
It is fine. There's if you go to these paint places that obviously mix the paint up, they'll mix any colour and put it into a can for you.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Pick it up for something. Oh, hi, Bryan.
Welcome back, Bryan. Bless him. I bet he's exhausted.
I'm shattered, mate. I've been up since 7.
How's the house coming, mate?
Yeah, getting there.
Getting there.
A lot of the electric's done today. A load more to do next weekend, but we've finally got light upstairs.
Nice,
so
mate.
Getting there.
Nice, mate. Well done.
Right up to the point where the next door neighbour kicked off about the drilling, but there we go.
Oh, already?
Yeah, wouldn't have minded, but I tried knocking on the door 3 times to tell her that we were going to do it.
Yeah, he moved in yet, and he's getting.
I know. Thought Sunday afternoon would be preferable to 10 o'clock at night in midweek, but apparently not.
It's funny that you mentioned neighbours. I don't want to go off topic too much, but I've been following a lot of what's been cracking off online in the States, and it led me to watch The Purge. If you've never seen it, watch The Purge.
Okay.
It's a brilliant movie. And if you think you've got bad neighbours, good Lord. That was really good. I go off topic. We'll let you catch your breath, mate. And
cheers, mate.
We're talking about techniques, advancements in techniques. I think for a lot of us, that use the cans, the paint quality is brilliant. You can get them. We're talking about realism to a certain extent. If you want to do a light for light and put stickers back on, it still looks like, with the greatest respect, the toy car that came out back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, if you replicate it. But if you take a bit of a twist and give it a new car paint, for want of a better word, and with the decals, you can make them look really realistic now. Mini versions of the real thing. I'm all for the starter cans, but you can, as the guys have said, if you use an airbrush, you can't get the same effect. There's plenty of colours out there now. Righty. Oh, you're going to like this one, Mark.
Yeah, great. Here we go.
Question 3. I feel the groan coming already. How is the availability of, I'm going to use them 2 letters, numeric number, 3D printing, change the replacement of missing or broken die-cast parts?
You had to repeat that one. I didn't quite hear it, mate. Go on.
Right. How has the availability of 3D printing changed the replacement of missing or broken die-cast parts?
Yeah, I'll go with that one. I will say
Mate.
It's helped a lot with missing and broken parts, but I think it's still in its infancy. It still needs, because at the moment, unless you can get into CAD and know how to design and CAD print, CAD design your own parts, you're limited to what files are available to buy. Yeah, so there's still maybe a lot of parts out there that you can't get for your to replace your broken parts on your Dinkies or your Yorkies or die-cast, because there's not a file out there available. If there's not a file out there available, then you've got to either resort to moulding, or you've got to go find somebody who can do the operate CAD printer, and to do the CAD program to design it for you.
Or use a scanner.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, smart.
And on that bombshell,
if you can get a scanner to work.
Yeah. We're waiting to do round 2 of that, aren't we, partner?
Yeah, we are. But the scanners are okay. There again, they're still in their infancy, unless you got in the professional market. For us hobbyists, it's still a lot of work to get the scanner up and running. But for people working who, how can I say, basic die-cast restorations or whatever, who don't really want to buy a printer or can't afford to buy a printer with all the extra ancillaries that go with it and stuff like this, then yeah, 3D printing, buying it off the open market is definitely a game changer for parts. It is, yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen what this just before you do some of the impressive body kit parts that you've done. You know,
I was going to say that for me, it's just opened a complete different world up for the diecast. Before I got into 3D printing, I was buying cars at stupid money, really, just for wheels and different things, just to try and make something half decent out of what I had on the bench. Sometimes it was costing more than what I paid for the original car just to get the wheels or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but for now, I don't mind spending a couple of quid on a file that I've got forever then.
Yeah.
As for bumpers and different things, it's missing. I usually, if I can't find the file for it, then I'll make it out of a bit of a sprue, or I'll print a bumper off with something similar and make it fit. I tell you, the resin come in handy today. You'll see on the video on Thursday. This had been, the screen had been touched with a soldering iron. You can't really see it now because I got rid of it. Hold on, where are we? I don't know if you'll see it. No, you won't. Yeah. Basically, it had been touched with a soldering iron at some point. So I flattened it out with some 600 sandpaper, and I got the clear resin, dropped it in the dint, cured it, and then rubbed it down again, a little bit, polished it back. Can't even tell virtually.
Wow.
So that's handy if you got dints in the screen. Pop on.
So you've got more use for that clear resin using it direct than you did for printing windscreens.
Yeah, well, I'm got the bit of a bollock with the lights on that Fiesta last week, but I know it was a learning curve. I know for next time, got to let them bubbles come out first before we cure it.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd deal with cracks, Luke?
No.
You know what, Bryan? I reckon it would.
Right.
You struggle because I tried it with the clear resin. I got some of that clear resin hard, and they did try. It does get rid of the crack up to a certain point, but you can still see that it is actually snapped. It's not. You know what I mean? You see that. You still see that line. I tried doing it from the front, and I tried doing it from the front and the back at the same time to try and completely seal it. But you still got that line. You still got that crack.
Right.
I was thinking of putting it in with like a syringe after injecting it into the crack, whether that is.
Yeah.
Well, it rather begs the question then: if you could fill a dent in a screen or a dint in the screen with that UV and it dries, would it be worth trying to cut out the scratch and then fill in the gap? Would that be a better solution?
You know what, Bryan? I'd have a go with it if I had a spare screen.
Plenty busted screens you could have a go with.
I'm finding more and more uses for the 3D printer. I am.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for the file that you sent. That was the first wheel swap I'd ever done. And I was blown, well, two steps really. I was blown away with the print, and I was blown away how well it sprayed, and that's with two rattle cans. Because you think it's gonna, if you've got spokes and pepper pot wheels, things like that, you think the paint's gonna fill it up, you know, and it looks gammy. But no, I was blown away. And I think John mentioned Plasticoat. So I used an iCoat primer and a Plasticoat gold chrome. Yeah. And lo and behold, it was a really nice thin finish, but it's just a couple of thin coverings without going, bulling a china shop. Yeah. But yeah, we've managed to. I mean, Mark did his truck. We managed to do a couple of doors for him, and that was done with. I mean, I'm no CAD specialist by any stretch of the imagination, but that was just using free CAD. That was.
Well, you've done me the Alvis Stalwart top and the rocket for the Fab one and the rocket for the Interceptor. So there are files out there that are usable, and I think as we gain experience, I think there's going to be a chance of certainly covering parts of them. And like Mark said, once that scanner's up and running, and the thing is, until you get a successful scan, it's kind of is it going to work? Is it going to work? When you know how it works and how to get the best results, then pretty much as long as you've got a sample part to go from, it shouldn't be too difficult.
It wasn't just that. It's not just the fact of using the scanner, as Martin will attest to. It was the other pieces of software that you needed to learn how to use to get the best out of the scan in the first place. There was lots of buffering out, like say dints and cracks and stuff like that, or where it didn't scan, you got to kind of fill it in yourself. But there is software out there. But again, it's a learning curve on all of these techniques.
I think even that scanner that I showed in that video, where there was a complete full human being scan, even the guy then had to sit at his desk with the software and fill in the parts that the scanner hadn't quite got. So there is that sitting down technology and looking at and filling the parts in. So Anyway.
Well, as Moz is not here, I can tell you because I watched it. When he went up to that Telford IPMS show, there was a booth there whereby you could go into it and get yourself scanned, and you could be your pilot in your own aircraft.
Body scanner.
So it'll actually scan your face, scan your body, all that kind of thing. And then he did tell me how much it cost, but effectively you go in there and then you get your unique file that you can use wherever. So
our other team members join the chat. Good evening, Laz. How are you, mate? Good to see you.
Hey, Laz.
Hi, Laz.
Sorry, join late. That's all right, mate. Don't worry. I know you're on your travels. That's fine. Phil, thoughts on 3D printing?
Yeah, I mean, I do a little bit of it with filament. I don't have a resin printer. I thought about it. I just don't have the space at the minute. But I've done the Stalwart cover. I've done a few.
Yeah.
The only trouble I have, if you're doing anything really small, it's like I was trying to do the wing mirrors or looking for an extra wing mirror for that Renault 5. Without changing the nozzle down to a 0.2 and changing it every time you want to use it, it's difficult to get anything small out of it. Yeah. And then sometimes I don't always want plastic if it's a metal part that I'm replacing. A bit like the doors on the barn, the garage, and the back of the refrigerator truck. Do you know that sort of thing? So it's horses for courses, really. But it is. I mean, it saves time. Like was it Luke that said buying donor vehicles just to take one part off them? It does save a lot of time looking around for those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
You tend to find that the donor parts are the ones that got the same parts missing that you're looking for in the first place anyway.
I know. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the Batmobile, weren't we? And there's a classic case in point. You can have 10 Batmobiles and they'll all have broken screens. They'll all have
the windscreen
telephones missing. One will have a Batman, one might have a Robin, but you've got to buy 2 or 3 to get most of the bits that you want, but you still have to buy a few.
I mean, that is the 3D pot of gold.
Yeah.
To be able to print windscreens. But we have managed to do quite a few Matchbox. I think we've done about a dozen now. We've got like the Safari, Jeep, Land Rover and stuff like that. We've done the luggage. Things like that. We've done bits like that we've swapped and changed. And we just share them out when we've got them. And it saves, £2 for a part and $2.75 on postage, this kind of thing. Like we do it when we meet up.
Right.
So it's finding its feet 3D printing, I think.
But with regard to your previous thing about changing an original and up specking it, I mean, if you want the example of what is achievable, trouble is with a lot of these live chats, because we chat so many times during the course of a week, you're never quite sure if it's been a previous live chat or whether it's been a private chat.
But there's new people joining, so
So with regard to the specking up an old model, so beyond what it would have been out of the factory, I mean, you can't get a better example of what Luke did. I think it was 3 weeks ago when he did that Zephyr, a Matchbox Zephyr. I mean, you wouldn't be disappointed if that was a Hot Wheels or a what's the other one, Little Vanguard. The detail on it that you can achieve. And one of the other things that we spoke about was the fact that once you've got them stripped and once you've got them prepared, the detail level, because of the way they were painted originally, you see so much more detail when it's. Sorry, I'm on the phone and it keeps sliding. You see so much more detail when it's back to bare metal, and being able to carry that on to the restoration would be brilliant.
I think there's two schools of thought, isn't there? Really, with the restorations, you either do the original restoration, or you put a twist on it and do something new.
We say the words code 3?
Well, yeah. I mean, my argument has always been with that. As soon as you drill out a rivet, it's a code 3 because it's not unique anymore. It's not what it was. It didn't come like that.
Yeah,
Here we go. You see, it's kind of
worms can open.
What's the next question, please?
Yeah. Moving on. Thanks for that. Welcome back, Bryan.
Thanks for that. Next question.
Well, this kind of leads on from the last one, really. What? Oh God, another can of worms here. What role do CAD and digital scanning play in recreating components? It says historically accurate components, but any component, I guess, is.
Well, I think we've covered that in the last one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same question, isn't it?
Next one.
Yeah, I'll just bolt onto that. You've got to get a really, really top end scan. You're looking at spending not a couple of £100, it's a couple of thousand is to get a top end scanner. So bear that in mind.
So we need a whip round then.
Yeah,
or a lottery win.
Have to sell your body again, Luke. Unfortunately.
Wouldn't it be nice though? Wouldn't it be nice if we added, or we could come up with enough money to be able to just produce any windscreen that was needed? Because just about every other part are pretty much readily accessible. It's the screens that are the bastards.
Yeah, I sometimes I have this dream, that we all live a lot closer together, and we've opened up our own workshop. We're all specialised in different areas.
That's more of a nightmare.
We're all in string vests in the back.
It's a bit odd.
Yeah, right. Moving on.
Question 5. How have advances in clear coats and lacquers improved durability on long-term preservation? Or is it lacquer in general that improves long-term preservation?
Yeah. I suppose it's like we were saying about the paints. For the health and safety reasons, a lot of the chemicals have been removed from some of these paints. Some of the really stinky, horrible chemicals have been removed out. But I find different types of lacquers. I know Luke uses the 2K and everything else, but if you're using standard rattle can lacquers, the difference between high coat and Halfords, for instance, just to keep it down to the basic level, like the high coat lacquer and the Halfords lacquer there's a big difference. There's a big difference in drying time. For one of the big differences, the drying time on the Halfers lacquer is a lot longer than the high coat lacquer. A lot longer, and in fact, I would say, really, if you're lacquering something with the Halfers, it'll be a couple of days before you can touch it again. But with the high coat, you can handle it after the first day. I wouldn't say you'll be, it'll be hard, but you can handle it. But that Halfers lacquer is a lot softer. A lot
Have you
softer.
seen the difference in quality, though, Mark, between the two?
Yeah, the Halfers lacquer is the mixture. Looking at it when it comes out and the feel of it, the mixture is slightly different. There's a lot more shine on it, if you know what I mean. You spray a car with the high coat, and then you spray a car with the lacquer, and put them the Halfers, put them side by side. You've got more of a luster with the Halfers lacquer than you have with the high coat lacquer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you've got to be very careful that you don't overdo it with the Halfers lacquer, because it's quite easy if you've been using high coat lacquer for quite a while, and then you resort to, I haven't got any, can't get any high coat lacquer. I use Halfers, and you can't use it the same, because you will flood it and it will go white, and then you got a problem on your hands. It's never going to dry, because I can't get high coat as easily, the lacquer anyway, that I want. So I do resort to using the other stuff. But I am going to start using the 2K lacquer at some point. See how I get on with that.
I'll take you on a shopping trip next time you're up here, brother.
Yeah, on your van load
to get you some lacquer and stuff.
Yeah.
Luke, you thoughts on lacquers? Has it improved? Better? Same?
It's like super clear lacquer today. Lacquer 20 years ago was a lot stronger. Bryan will probably tell you so.
Oh, we've lost your sound, son. Try again.
Yeah, lacquer's super clear today. They call it super clear. There's a lot of stuff taken out of it. Bryan will probably remember he used to mix paints 2K 20 years ago. Once it dried, it was rock hard.
It was isocyanate, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the only trouble with it. But today it's more clear, the lacquer. Once it's sprayed, it's beautiful, but it's not as strong as it was 15, 20 years ago. But you'll never get a finish out of a can like you will with 2K lacquer. You won't. It's all single pack out the can.
Thoughts, Phil? Oh, sorry, Mike. Carry on.
Yeah, go on. I'm just saying, like Mark was saying about his drying time, a day, 2 days. I can spray a car, put it on the radiator, and 2 hours I can pick that up and do what I want with it then.
And that's with a 2K lacquer.
Yeah, that's how quick it dries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Phil, any thoughts on lacquer?
Certainly a better appearance, better finish these days. I mean, you can get all different levels of gloss finish now, can't you, Luke?
Yeah, you can make it.
So I mean, that's a plus. Clear coats extend the lifespan of your paint, just as on a car. I suppose does it make it easier to clean? Don't know, but yeah. The modern technology obviously advanced everything, doesn't it? But like Luke says, the 2K, if you're going to mix that yourself, that's a far better finish than anything you get out of cans. Now, I have seen a rattle can where you pop the bottom and you mix them.
2K.
Yeah. Whether you can get them, whether they're readily available or not, I don't know.
They are.
Are they a one-shot deal though, Luke? Do you pop the can and then use it once and then it's gone?
They say, Bryan, it only lasts for, I don't know, I think they give it about a 7-day shelf life on it.
Right.
But it does last longer than that, mate. It really does. Especially if you keep it in a cool environment. Obviously, if you got it next to the heating or something, it's not going to last that long. Right. But the stuff I can get mixed up, it's pre-mixed 2K clear coat, and that'll last over a year in the can.
Wow. See, my problem at the moment is obviously I'm restricted to rattle cans because obviously I haven't got the workshop set up yet with the airbrush, and because at the moment that's the only lacquer I've sprayed, other than back in the day in garages where I've sprayed it.
Yeah.
I've never for the models I've only ever used aerosol, and the one thing you do find with certain aerosols is you do get some yellowing. You know, the single biggest problem at the moment is the availability of the stuff that I think, as a newcomer to restorations, that the stuff that everybody, even the model makers, used, and I know Martin's had it, and I know a couple of others have used it. The stuff for the windscreens, again, I know I keep harping on about windscreens, but that shine on the windscreens. If you sprayed a lacquer on the windscreens, again, that's when you get big time yellowing. But that stuff that they used to use, whether it was Pledge Revive It or all the ones before that, I don't know what people are using. I mean, the ones that are obviously you have used the old stuff have got decent supplies of it, but it's totally unavailable now, and I don't know what people are using in its place.
I mean, theoretically, the Pledge Revive It isn't a lacquer; it's a polish. I'm
talking about a similar thing, but for the screen. Get shine.
Well, as if by magic, Brian, what I've just been working on here, I mean, I'm not going to swap the camera, is literally a windscreen that. Right. What time did we start? An hour ago, that windscreen was, well, although there's a crack in it, but it was covered in paint, and I've literally just been sanding it off with bits of paper and one of those. And what I'm going to do is spray it with this beeswax wood silk.
Okay.
All right.
That's readily available at loads of supermarkets at the minute.
Okay.
It's only cheap. Give it a try.
Does that do the same job then? Or do you have to polish it afterwards?
I leave it to dry. Okay. So I just give it a fine coat and I'll just leave it to dry.
Okay.
Guzzy glaze, Brian, you can use. That's good stuff.
Which one?
Guzzy glaze.
Gauzy,
whatever it is.
I thought that was only available in Poland because obviously Paul Restorer uses it, didn't he?
No, they get it anywhere, Bryan.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not cheap though.
No.
For the size of the tub it's in, anyway.
Well, next time we meet up as well, I've got some cans for everyone. I bought a job lot of these cans, and it's the stuff that people spray on glass ornaments that it's like statically charging it and it repels dust. I think I've got a dozen cans of it, so I'll bring them up and everybody can have a couple and give it. It works. It works. It's pretty amazing stuff. But you just literally give it a dust coat and dust coat. You give it, you spray it over, and it does repel the dust.
Does it repel fingerprints off bike frames?
No.
Or grandkids.
Definitely doesn't repel kids, unfortunately.
What I tend to do, I've moved away from using the because the original was liquid floor polish was K with a clear with a K.
Clear with a K. Yeah.
Original fluid was actually clear in liquid to see.
What's the one that Marty uses?
I don't know,
because he's got one as well, hasn't he?
I thought
and then you go from you went from the original transparent floor polish, then they moved on to the white, and they still called it clear.
Milky white one, yeah,
milky white. But then they changed it again later on, a couple of times, and it ended up being that very expensive. I can't remember what it's called now. The very expensive version. So I've still got a big bottle of that. Clear with a K, the milky stuff. I don't use it as often now because I found sometimes it's a little bit sticky. But what I tend to do now, because I sand my windscreens, as you've seen, sand them. And what I use now is I use the actual proper car windscreen polish,
right?
And the auto glim windscreen polish. Just squirt it on all over, and buff it up, and I find that gives a nice shine. And it's all right. I can use it straight away. So I'm moving away from that liquid stuff because sometimes it would pool in the corners, and it got in some case it would give you that obscure look, you know.
Because that lad that does the lad that does diecast restos, Jason, I think his name is.
Yeah, Jason,
he advocates that Astonish wood floor polish.
Yeah, it's the same thing, really.
But you can't get that.
But that gauzy is the primo of polish like that. You know, what it does, it does repair. So you've got fine little, if you've got fine little scratches, it will fill them in.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, I'll definitely have to get one of them though. Gauzy.
I've seen. I don't know how true this is, but not how true it is. I don't know if it's plausible, but I saw somebody say you could put Vaseline into a crack.
Did you really say that?
Level, I just realised.
Moving on.
Yeah, 7 levels were wrong of how that came out. Yeah,
I don't believe you went there.
No, if you.
I've just got to go. I might be back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If you've got a split, doesn't sound any better, does it? Really? Some guy was advocating using Vaseline to fill. No, let's move on.
Move on.
Try to say no.
Not getting any better, is it? No.
You was watching the wrong channel, mate. And you must have been tired that night. Yeah. Flipping heck.
Oh dear. Back yourself into a corner that you're not going to get out of anytime soon.
Next question.
Next question.
I was going
to say when you're in the hole.
Luke just wants to carry on now.
You know, DJ.
Questions. No, I don't think any of us tried this yet, but I know Martin's starting a journey on this. How has modern powder coating influenced restoration quality for wheels and chassis parts? Now, I think we've all seen, majority of us seen the Tonka toys, where he uses powder coating. But you're starting a journey on this, aren't you? Mark, with the powder coating.
There is a guy on YouTube who used to do diecast. I think he was actually had a channel called Diecast Powder Coating, and it piqued my interest when a while ago now. Jeff, his name is. He was powder coating Matchbox, and I thought, how's that going to work? And it did. It did. It worked, and it looked good. But what I did look at closely was you do lose some of the detail because of the natural thickness of the powder, what goes on. And he put them in the oven and everything else, and they looked really, really nice. But he doesn't do that anymore. He's doing something completely different now. But he still does the powder coating system. They've changed the powder coating systems as far as I can tell. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not up on it, but the systems now changed. You can buy now the one I've got. You don't have to have all the fancy gadgets to tweak it with the amps and the blah 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 and the static and everything else. It's basically plug in, switch on, and go. You know, they've vastly improved, made it easier for the hobbyists, should I say, rather than before when like most things, they start off from the industrial. It's a step down to semi-professional, and a step down then to to the hobbyist. But on a diecast, I will try it on a 1/43rd, something like this. But I think the smaller you go with it, I think that the lot of detail you will lose. 1/18, 1/24, you'll probably get away with it. But 1/43, maybe you're pushing it. But Matchbox style, not so much. But it'd be worth
wasting material.
Yeah, and the powders, powders are good. You know, you get a lot of different color powders now. You can get metallics. You can get all sorts of powders now that I was looking at. Which I think if you're doing something Well, they have to really, because some of the engine parts and brake calipers and stuff like this are all powder coated now on real cars. So yeah, it's a journey. I'm going to be interested to see how I get on with it. I might end up having a new channel called New Parts for Cars. I would be doing cylinder heads and shit like that, rocker box covers and stuff. Bring in your radios. No, I think the systems themselves have improved for the hobbyist, shall I say? Rather than getting the ovens are still bloody expensive, but the main system itself has become more available for the hobbyist, and they're a lot more trimmed down and easy to use, shall I say? That's all I've got to say.
I'm just going to apologise to Jim. Jim was painting a fine line on a car. Apparently, we're not responsible, or we haven't got enough money to pay for repairs, Jim. I do apologise.
Sorry, Jim. Yeah.
I've just had a message from Gary on Messenger, and it says, "Hi Paul, after listening to Phil with his issues with the airbrush, especially splatter, do you want me to do a bit of a tutorial demo on the tavern on Friday?" That would be absolutely superb, Gary. We're always looking for new content for the tavern. For those that don't know, in the chat we have a virtual live chat on every Friday night. We've moved it back to its original time slot. All you need is Teams, or just follow the link, and you don't have to install Teams. And we talk about, while we try to stay on topic on Sunday, on these Sunday nights, it covers everything. We cover everything. We usually do the same kind of format, but as we get towards the tail end of the tavern on a Friday night, we can cover anything and everything. And it's not just diecast and air fix. It can be politics, anything, you name it. Sometimes it can get a bit fruity, but it's a tavern. That's what it's supposed to be. It's an open pub. And I'm
you all bugger off when PJ gets to some Vaseline.
When I'm about 3/4 down the bottle of scotch, then head for the hills. Jerry, sorry, it's going downhill fast. This is, we can't get Tamiya spray painting kind of because of some ingredient that makes your peck a lump. So there you go. That's why they don't.
I think you must be using it wrong.
You should be spraying the model, Jerry. That's where you're going wrong, I think, my friend. What powder coating? Luke, have you had any experience with powder coating?
Yeah, none on the diecast. I know with powder coating, you've got to have that oven to the temperature before you put it in. If you put it in with the oven's warm or cold, you tend to get a lot of orange feel. I know a lot of the cars today, you have wheels refurbed, they're all powder coated now. And
so
they look really nice.
I like I mentioned to you before, I like the anthracite colour on wheels. I just couldn't get it for the colour I wanted. But if you powder coat something, how long? What's the limit you can kind of leave it till before you put it in the oven, or is it a straight away?
It's straight away. It depends how many parts you're painting. Like they'll sit there all day once you powder coated it until you're ready to ship into the oven. But it once it's dry and it's cured, it lasts forever.
Yeah.
Like my dad, he had his. I weren't obviously not powder coating at the time, but my dad done his sump on a Mustang. The car had been stood a long time, so there was a few pinholes in the sump. So we welded them up, ground it all back, and sent it off. Had it powder coated, and had no trouble with it afterwards. Didn't rust, nothing.
The guy that does the Tonka cars, he must have seen it where he comes along with the Tonka pickup truck. Yeah. He winds it up and cuts and knitting the next one off. He's either in the States or Canada. I think he's in the States. But they look superb. There's something about like the SM. If you're familiar with ASMR, these videos where you just sit back and doze off, kind of thing, like watching paint stripping in a booth, and then the paint. He must time lapse the oven because you see it cure.
Yeah,
you know, it's fantastic. And then parts, the gloss finish on it when it's done, the eye finish, it's fantastic. It's awesome. Bryan, any experience with powder coating?
I worked very briefly in a powder coating place in Wellingborough. I lasted about 2 weeks. The problem I found was, this was years and years ago. Most people tended not to wear masks. It was, masks are for, so you didn't wear them. And literally, you tasted the powder the entire time you were there. And I didn't feel it was doing me any good, so I jacked it in after a couple of weeks. But I will say, the actual transformation of parts on an industrial scale, I mean, these were literally, the same part, 3,000 parts going through on a conveyor belt, and the guy just going bloop, 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 and then through. I mean, they came out. I mean, the finish was they were blemishless. They were absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
So I think if you can get it right, it would be absolutely amazing. But I don't think I don't mind I think with our spray booths, when we're spraying normally, I think we're smart enough to stay away from the bulk of what's bad for you. It might be a bit tougher with powder coating because it's so fine. I don't know.
as well. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
Can it not theoretically be done in a booth like you would do?
Yeah.
Well, the one that I worked at, it had extractors everywhere, but the trouble was, because it's magnetized, as you spray like a cloud around it, and it just goes like that, and it's on it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get attracted is in the air.
Yeah.
So, perhaps that's just because of the size. I presume if you do it on a smaller scale, they might not be quite so bad.
I don't know. He's got quite a big old spray on them Tonka toys when he's going at it.
Yeah, you've got to have Martin will find when he does it, especially in the chef, he'll be covered in it. He'll come out yellow or red, whatever he's doing.
Don't tell him that he's just spent a bloody fortune on kit.
It's not a clean. You're not clean at all. I remember when I was doing it, you used to get in the car like you'd be wearing paper suit, masked up, but you'd still have it in your car, even though you got under it back into your clothes, finish with at the end of the day, and by the end of the week your car will be covered in it.
That's why I jacked it in. That's why I jacked it in. It was just, it pervaded everything. It was, just couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even spraying.
Yeah.
Yeah. JB saying, had my motorbike frame and wheels powder coated. Yeah.
It stops all the rust coming back through if it's treated right. There's a lot of them dip them stuff like that, the frames and everything, so the rust don't come back.
Yeah.
I did.
Any experience?
That lad, sorry, one last thing. That lad at Tasty Classics, he started having powder coating chrome. A chrome finish powder coating.
Oh,
that looked pretty amazing.
I think Martin said he's got some of that, I think.
Okay.
Sure he did.
Sorry, otherwise I'd have forgotten.
That's all right. Phil, any experience, thoughts on powder coating?
I did, like Hobby Time said in the chat, I had an Audi A5 that had those diamond cut alloys, that had a straight face on one edge, so they were very difficult to spray paint if you wanted to touch them up. So I had those powder coated in funnily enough, PJ anthracite. I'll have to show you an image of them. Yeah, they came out well. But as for die cast and restoration, no, I've not ventured into any. I think you need quite a setup, like Luke says there, with your powder, your booths and everything else, plus an oven.
Yeah. I think have you got a kind of ballpark figure like what an oven would cost?
Yeah. Grand.
Yeah.
Depending on what you were doing, if you're going commercially, 20, 30 grand, if not more. I know one for a car can set you back nearly 100 grand.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, these look like the guy that does the Tonkers, it almost looks like standard. You know the 6-burner ovens that you cookers that you can get. It looks like that kind of width. So I'd say probably 4 foot long, 4.5 foot long.
Yeah.
In a cabinet, obviously, but
Has Martin bought a specific powder coat oven then, has he?
And now he's going to make one, I think. But I think Martin might be better with like a bench vent or something like that for when he's doing that. Or have it kicking it outside straight through the door.
Jesus, I hope you don't tell his insurance company.
Or his neighbour.
I don't know what's going on with Jerry. He said, hang on there now, Bryan. Do you like camping? I don't know what you said. I don't know what it was. Jerry saying, try using 2 coats. And then he says, hang on there now, Bryan. Do you like camping? I don't know what in reference to something you said.
Did I miss something?
Well, we've lost Luke for a sec. All right. So I've got nothing to add to the powder coating discussion, but I can't remember what the channel's called. Somebody might know in the chat. The guy that does the Tonkers and winds them up and cuts off. He's got lots of sheep in his videos as well.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I've all on with painting, never mind powder coating.
It's restore some. I'm sure it's restore or I can't remember. Go and have a look for restoring Tonkers. The guy is, what he does is brilliant. And I think that it's hard getting hold of the Tonka parts as well.
Well, look how long it took Martin to get hold of that skip.
Yeah. And then we had to have a go at 3D printing it.
Yeah.
Right. Powder coating. Oh no. This is right up Luke's. I'm not even going to finish the question off. Street. That's the word I was looking for. Right up the street. Yeah. Question 7. In what ways have weathering techniques, see what I did there, Luke?
Yeah.
Evolved to create more realistic aging effects? So Martin's just popped back. In what ways have weathering techniques evolved to create more realistic aging effects?
I've no clue. I'll let you know.
I don't know yet.
I would say
don't know yet.
I would say that a lot of it is down to the products available now to the modeler. More so your plastic kit modelers, especially the availability of products, weathering products like the specific weathering products like AK and all those do now with all the aging paints and the different types of weathering liquids, fluids, chipping solutions and stuff like this. What's out there, different colors, and even different textures. They do now. They do different texture paints as well for weathering and stuff like that. It's a massive array of weathering products out there for the modeler, which can be used on diecast as well, because basically, essentially, that's what it is. I think I've watched, ammo paints? They do a load. Weathering techniques. There's oil. People use oils. I think Gary, he uses oils for weathering. There's tubes of oil out there. I think it's a German company, Olbring or something. It's Olbring. They use all different sorts of weathering oils. There's weathering powders. There's weathering paints. There's even weathering pencils now. Down a bit, Bryan. Can only see your forehead, mate.
I know it's on the phone. It keeps bloody slipping.
Have you got a phone holder, son?
Yeah.
So
put it on the list.
There is loads of different products out there now, but where there wasn't before. Many years ago when I first started modelling, as I've seen Gary will tell you, he's in the chat, that there wasn't so many products out there So you basically made your own weathering materials, either out of mud out of the garden or stuff like this. You know, it's a fantastic. In fact, it's mind-boggling what's out. If you look at weathering materials out there, there's so many. I mean, the railway modelers use loads. Classic kick bowlers build loads. You know, I mean, not so much on the diecast because we tend to do more. Bring it back to what it was when it's come out of the factory, but at times that you want to do a weathered vehicle, that you can use the same techniques what are out there and the same products. I think Humber will do powders, they all do powders, they all do oils. You know, it's massive at the moment. It's huge.
Yeah.
You did a fantastic job with your scrapyard, though, Martin. The trouble, the thing I have, the issue I have with weathering, and this is probably just personal. There are guys out there who watch a lot of the sort of the plastic modelers, and some of them are phenomenal. I mean, the actual attention to detail. But I think sometimes, and it's very easy, and I know from experience that it's so easy to do, you overdo it with weathering.
Yeah.
It's such a slippery slope for over egging the pudding. Really, the only thing that I got recently, I was very lucky. I went in. I had a load of stuff because obviously we've moved. I had a load of bits and pieces that were sorting out to take into the local charity shop, and I went in there and I dropped all this stuff off. And the lady in there knows me, and she said, "You like your models?" She said, "We've had this stuff in." She said, "I'm not sure what it is." She said, "Would you be interested in it?" And she brought this box out, and it was only about the size of an iPad, so not very big, but it had a complete set of the Tamiya weathering powders. Now they look like ladies' eyeshadow. There's like six pads in a little flip top thing.
That's it,
and I think there was either 5 or 6 of them in there. I got them for a tenner. But they're quite expensive, so I was very lucky getting those. I'll have a bit once I'm set up. I'll have a bit of a play with them. But they've got all sorts of different colours in the different sets. Yeah,
they do. Yeah. Overkill, Bryan, is a thing where you need to do your research. I know it sounds odd to do research on a weathered vehicle, but like when I did my scrapyard, I was very conscious of not overdoing it with the rust.
Yeah,
because not all cars in scrapyards were in there because they were rusted, unless they're a British Leyland. But you know, some of them were just there for other broken parts, and a lot of the weathering was done as they were there, sat in the open for such a long time. You know, so you're going to get a lot of green moss. If you notice on a lot of scrapyard cars, there's a lot of been there for a while. You get a lot of green moss, and you've got mildew. Of course, you're going to get rust on certain parts of the car, on particularly on certain brands of car, like the Mini that I were using. The Minis that I were using, they rusted in certain areas. So you know you're pretty good to rust in certain areas, but not every car was rusted or went in there. You know what I'm saying? You go to a scrapyard now, and you don't see any rust on them. Most of them now, unless you go to the older ones. So you've got to be mindful of what you're doing, how far you want to go with it, and you got to put your mind on the scenario that you're trying to recreate. If you've got an abandoned vehicle in a small wooded area, you got to think, well, okay, it's going to suffer from sap damage of trees. It's going to have leaf mold. It's going to have green mold on it, and it's so you've got to look at the scenario before you attack it. That would be the thing to look for, because it's so easy to get carried away. And they ended up just a mishmash of rusty colours, and it doesn't look like you hoped it would look.
I mean, that's a kind of a top tip, really, because you can go onto YouTube and forget the rest of the diecast and plastic kits and whatever you like. Just look for a standard car restoration, and like Martin says, a lot of these guys will go and dig one out of a forest that's been abandoned, and that will, if you take a snapshot of what you're seeing, it gives you something to work to. Almost like a photo to work to.
Just down the road from us, we've got that Armageddon, which is a mini tank museum, and they just got hold of an Elvis stalwart. So we went down there for Connor's 16th birthday, and I must have took 100 pictures of this stalwart because I've got the Airfix kit to do, and because it's alley, it don't rust, but it was interesting to get the pictures to see the way it's weathered properly. So that's what I did. So what you're saying about the research, Mark, is absolutely bang on. If you can find the right thing. But the other company that's good for stuff for weathering scenes, it's stuff that I used to use when I had my model railway. A company called Woodland Scenics. They do some stuff.
Yeah, Woodland Scenics. Yeah.
It was interesting, Luke. You said earlier on about how far do you go back with the paint when you weather it. A lot of them, that rat style, have gone through. They've almost sanded it back so you can see the levels of paint, so you can see the top coat, the primer, back to the metal light, and then just weathered or rust effect on metal part light. So you can go all the way back.
Like, I'm unsure of the correct way in which sequence to put it in. I think it's going to be pointless undercoating it because I'm not going for that perfect finish. I want it to look rough and ready. So I'm thinking maybe a black undercoat first, maybe put a dark brown over that, maybe speckle it with some lighter brown, maybe a black wash, and then put the colours on. Put the chipping coat on, then the colours that I want to do it in, and maybe chip it back that way, and then a clear matte coat. I don't know yet. I'm just gonna have to work it out.
Yeah, it is difficult. It is one of those things that it's experimental. You've got to try things, different things, different techniques that you want to try, or how. If you know how, we all know how rust works. It works from the inside out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you've got your rust, but then you've got the other weathering effect is sun bleached and worn paint. You know, like again, depending what country you want to, you're looking at it coming from. Like in hot countries, the paint would fade, you know, badly, and then you get your rust showing through there, which would be a different sort of rust. I know it sounds strange, but a different sort of rust.
Yeah.
The rust you get in this country where it's always damp and wet. You know what I mean? It's different. You've got to work that out to make it look like it's from the country that you need it to be from, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because if you was like our mate Fraser, who's in Dubai, I mean, look at all the sand that's blown around there.
Well, it's sandblasting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sandblasting a car, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're in California, it's been hit by the heat all the time. We've seen on some of the proper motor shows where, you know, the paint's been hit by blistering sun and it's faded the paint. You know, it depends what you're trying to recreate, I guess.
Well, that's like those guys who do the rat rods in America. If you see these guys pulling these things, old Jeeps and old pickup trucks out of these back and beyond ranches, and they don't even bother to paint, they just lacquer over the existing
dry rust in it over there. It's like dry rust in it,
and they just lacquer over the existing patina, as they call it.
That Richard Hammond. Oh, sorry, Mark.
Yeah. So that's where you've got to look at the difference. That's where their rat rods always look good because of the different colours they've got in them. It's been created by the different shades of where it's been. The top would be a lot more of a lighter rust effect than the bottom, where the sun's attacked the top and not so much the bottom. You know, you got that different gradient of rust. You know, where in England and wet countries, your rust is more. How can I say? A wet rust. It looks wet all the time. It looks, you know,
looks like it's still active.
Yeah, it looks horrible.
Yeah. But I remember
blistering paint is another one. Sorry, Brian. Blistering paint is a good effect to have on a rusted car, especially in this country, because you know how many times you've seen wheel arches door sills, along the boot edge and bonnet edges where it's blistering. Some's flaked off. That's a good effect if you can get it right.
Would you do that with heat, Mark?
You can, yeah. If you've got paint, you can warm it up, or you can use a bit of salt.
Yeah, I'm just going to. Jerry says my previous comment was in reference to Brian's comment about Vaseline in his crack. I think that was me that actually said it. We'll not fault Brian about that. Phil, any thoughts on weathering?
I've never done it. It's not something I've done. Like I say, I'm gonna attempt it on this, but I'll do my research. And we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I've not tried it, so I can't comment.
I'm looking forward to having a go with it. I am.
Looks like our partner, our team member Moz is in the chat. Come and join us.
You can get an already, if you've got an already painted car, say you bought one, and you can do the weathering without actually stripping the paint off that vehicle. You can use your wet and dry to fade down the initial colour of the paint, and then you can use a little bit of heat to make it blister. You can get that. You can wear through the paint with your sanding. So you can recreate the patches of metal that you've exposed with rust without having to take the whole car stripped right back, if you understand what I mean. Because a lot of people, you can weather decals once you put your decals on. If you've got a van like Phil's got that tow truck, he put decals on it, and you could weather them decals. You can rub them down lightly so they just sort of thin enough to go through to the original paint, so it looks like they're worn and stuff like that. So it's a massive library of techniques.
I mean, that Richard Hammond in his latest series, he's restored this old boy's Ford pickup truck, or is it a Chevy? It was either Chevy or a Ford. Pardon my ignorance. But effectively, what he did was he did the entire vehicle, and the entire vehicle looks brand new, apart from the tailgate. The bit that flaps down, because the tailgate, when he got it, he sealed it with lacquer, and it had the original colour. It had all the other bits and pieces, and you had that rust coat because he got it from America, and he wanted part of the vehicle to look like it would have done as a rat rod, and that was so that part was left. Which I thought was pretty cool.
You can fix weathering powders with enamel thinners.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Top tip. Glad I put the paintbrush. I'm not going to read it out, Jim. It's just going too far downhill now. But what you can also, in the miniature painting world, like the Warhammer type stuff, I'll just bring this up. If I can. You can get a range from Citadel called Technical Paints. And I've got one called Blood of the Gods or something like that. And it looks like congealed. When you paint your figure, it looks like congealed blood.
As long as you don't thin it with Vaseline.
No Vaseline included or required. You can get like a technical mud effect. You can get all these technical. We're not sponsored by Citadel, by the way, or anybody, but they can come yet.
They'll get me free.
I'll be trying them, guys. Yeah, we'll get on with that.
Ooh, AK, yeah.
I don't know about that. The Gastro, but I'll use that because that's more for bronze. But I'll definitely use the rust one.
Yeah.
The verdigris might look good on bumpers, Luke.
I was thinking that on the tops, yeah.
Yeah. When you get like the chrome that's ratted away, it always gets that like little green sort of halo, doesn't it?
Good thinking, Bryan.
Have them occasionally.
It's not just a pretty. Well,
no, I'm not.
No, just not go there either.
No, don't even go there. No.
All right. Any more on weathering techniques? No, we'll move on.
Just don't overdo it. It's easy done.
Yeah. And have a look for, again, I'm not trying to, well, we are promoting other people's channels. I can't think what the name of the young lady is. Well, there's a young lady who does dioramas, like what do you call it, underground railway stations, and make them look abandoned and things like this. And she's brilliant at it, but I can't tell you what her name is because I can't remember.
I think
the weathering techniques on YouTube.
I think that would be a good thing for the Facebook page, you know.
Yeah.
What?
A list of good YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Because I know we had this discussion. I keep getting the same bloody videos over and over again. It'd be nice to find a few new channels.
Yeah. We've got to find a way. A discussion for another time, but we've got to find a way of promoting some media better.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether Facebook is the right environment to do it. We'll see.
The environment we've got in it. That's all I'm thinking.
Question 8. What are we doing for time? 9:45. How are non-toxic? We kind of cover this, I guess, to a certain extent. How have non-toxic and environmentally safer materials changed restoration workflows? Well, just restorations in general, really, or plastic model kits. So, if you were using something 10 years ago, is it no good now because it's been thinned down that much or watered down that much that it's no longer a viable option? Because it's been made non-toxic. We kind of touched on this, I guess.
I think we should move on, mate. Next one.
Yeah. Unless anybody wants to. No, fair enough. This is quite an interesting one. Question 9. How has access to online reference archives and databases improved historical accuracy? I don't think it necessarily means on. I'll bolt onto that. Reference books. Because they weren't always readily available. So as information, I guess, in general, more information helped you out when you're doing your restorations.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. For me, from when I do my restorations, Google Images or Photo Bucket, which I'm in with a Photo Bucket as well. Yeah, because it's nice to have books. I have quite a few books, but you can't have every book, you know, because they take a lot of room up, and you're flicking through pages. But yeah, definitely for when you go to Google Images, a lot of the cars or vans or trucks that I do, well, that Cannonball truck I didn't know even what it was called. To a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, that's a Cannonball." I thought, well, I'd never heard of it, so I Googled it, and lo and behold, popped up, and obviously there's different marks and different marks of the same vehicle. So trying to find the same vehicle of what I was actually doing, and then it's great because you can find out, zoom in, get all your details, where your lights are, how your mirrors are set, and you know, the configuration and how much different it is from the Dinky casting or the Corgi casting that you're doing. Because sometimes I think, oh bloody hell, there's one I'm looking out to do in the next couple of weeks is the Corgi Toys Le Mans Racer, Lotus Le Mans Racer. Now, on the casting, it's got the headlights here, obviously, but it hasn't got the inner lights, which are just inboard of the main headlights. The casting doesn't even exist on that, you know. So when you're looking at Google Images, you know, bloody hell, there's a set of headlights on that. Yeah, you know, it's the small details that you can pick out on the casting. And getting hours position, it's great. I think considering what it used to be years ago, when you had to pick up a book or a magazine, or maybe an article in a model magazine might show you it, and so yeah, Google Images or Photo Bucket or Places References, brilliant. Yeah, vastly improved it as far as I'm concerned.
Good evening, Moss.
Good evening, buddy. Good to see you. We hope your show went well at Cardiff. I'm going to divert slightly. Russ, I'm sorry I didn't reply to you straight away. send me your email address if you've got email, and I'll send you a link to the tavern. And I'll. How do we do this? Send me your email address. I'm trying to not give out private email addresses online. You can contact me at Swaddy, SWADDIE 01 at gmail.com. And I will send you a link on Friday tea time to the tavern, and it'd be good to see you, mate. So anybody, that applies to anybody. And while we're at it, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's a free show. We get we don't ask anybody to pay for anything unless they voluntarily do so.
You're being sponsored by Vaseline at the minute. So
we're being sponsored by Vaseline or Jim, because we've given him so much fun this week. Jim can, yeah. So by all means, mate, send me an email and I'll forward you a link to the tavern on Friday night. Same with anybody. Where was we? Yeah. Sorry, we talk about
reference material.
Reference material. Apologies. Thanks to John. We love you, John. Sending stuff up to Martin. Martin's now collecting quite the library of books.
Oh, I've got one the other day, which Luke might be interested in, but he's not having it.
What you could have had. Muscle car. Back to front, but muscle car.
Hey.
Now he's just teasing me now.
Yeah.
Look at that GTO.
So on the back of that,
beautiful.
Any reference material that you want to pass on, by all means, send it to us. It adds to our knowledge base
library.
It helps us to answer questions on the Facebook group. Unashamedly plug in the Facebook group, DSMC group on Facebook.
Neil Strong.
I love a reference book. Yeah. Another good. I know Martin said about. What was that website you just said, Mark?
Photo Bucket.
Another good one's Pinterest.
Oh, Pinterest, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good for images. I mean, I'm lucky. I've just recently. Well, I always had a few, but I had all me aircraft books. So markings of World War II aircraft and that kind of thing. Yeah. Got a few tank ones. Got some car ones, and now the only one that I'm missing. I managed to get that Spot On book, which was great. I've got about 4 Matchbox ones, about 3 or 4 Dinky ones. The one I'm desperate to try and find is a Corgi one, because I've not got any Corgi reference. I don't think you can have too much reference material. I really don't.
No.
But the one nice thing that's happened now, though, with all this, an upside from AI, Google. If you get Google Photo now on your phone, and you take a photograph of pretty much any model you get, it's not 100% successful, but it's probably sort of in the high 90s. If you take a photograph of the toy that you've got, it will tell you exactly what it is if there's no information on the base, or even parts of toys it recognises. Because when Laz a couple of weeks ago put up a thing about a trailer that was on a farm vehicle, and just by sort of screenshotting what he showed, I managed to find it on. It was a Siku, muck spreader or something, but it actually gave the model number and everything. So that's really handy now for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think AI is kind of. I'm getting fed up with AI. Mm-hmm. You get flooded with it on Facebook just recently as well. A good reference book. It's still good to have something that you can
The only downside to books, though, and I bet Mark's done this. How many times, Mark, have you seen a picture in a book and thought, "Oh bloody hell, that's what it is," and then you go back and try and find it again, and you can't remember what book it's on, what page it's on. Oh, it's a bloody nightmare.
Like you, Brian, I've got a lot of books on when I was doing the plastic modelling. Well, I still do it, but I've got a lot of really old books, reference books on camo painting, aircraft, military vehicles.
Yeah.
I even I picked up a book at a show once, and I thought this is going to be good. All about German tanks and German armour, and I didn't really look at it. And when I got home, it was all written in German, the whole lot. And it's about 300 pages, and it's so German.
You needn't bother bringing that up to SWAD because that ain't going to go down well. You know what I mean?
It got pictures. It got a lot of pictures.
The front page says, "For your Thomas, the vote is over."
Yes. Yeah. Well. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I can see why it was so cheap now. But yeah.
So right, let's stay on track. Phil, any thoughts on reference material? I know Mark showed you a book. I don't know whether he's teasing Mark and Phil because he had a Hot Wheels book as well.
I think he was teasing a little bit. Yeah. I do like the reference books. I like to refer to a book as opposed to internet, but it is so much easier. Like Bryan said there, if you've got an image, do a reverse image search on Google. Within seconds, it finds you more than enough information that you need to either replicate it or just find out a little bit more information about it. I do have a couple of books. Me go-to is that Encyclopedia of Matchbox Toys, because I predominantly use Matchbox. So yeah, but you don't often carry a book around with you, and your phone's a lot easier to just Google something if you're out and about. So
I'm having to think about that Hot Wheels book that Mart had got because it's obviously a few years old. Like,
well,
but I think even if an Hot Wheels book came out today, to say that if you were to buy it, it was £1.50. We have experienced that is not the case at all. Yeah. If it's that's
the other thing with books. Obviously, your internet's bang up to date. I was just reading today about some 2026 Hot Wheels that won awards last year, so they're going to bring them out in 2026 as regular cars. So, but obviously they're not going to appear in books. I didn't fully understand that there were Hot Wheels books up to kind of 2008 and younger, but Martin kindly dangled one in front of me yesterday, Wednesday.
He did a Bryan on you, didn't he? He said,
he did.
He's picking up
Bryan.
He did.
But I'll tell you something else. That's
the one.
Is that the one? Yeah, we need to mirror your image.
But what's this place? They might be out of date in respect price wise, but to identify what you've got, and it tells you the part numbers, what it is, what year it was made, whether it's a short card or a long card, But yeah, that's yours, Phil. When I come up, mate, don't worry.
Oh, brilliant!
The sympathy.
My mate.
Was it?
Yeah. You leave my mate alone, Luke.
Oh, we're all mates again now.
Yeah,
there is a bunch of bitches 5 minutes ago.
I mean, there is an app. There is an app I've started using to try and keep track of them all.
I found that. Yeah, I found that one.
So I did originally expect it to be one where you could scan the box and it comes up, but there is one, but it's not 100% accurate because the barcodes are all similar and it tells the tills that it's a Hot Wheels car.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily identify which car it is, so I got rid of that app and I just use Diecast.
Because old Marty Boy does the he references that online book, and that's one that you can you can download and peruse at your leisure, and it's completely free for if it's Matchbox you're after. A guy called Roger Darkins.
Yeah.
And he lists just about every incarnation of Matchbox up to probably the mid 80s. And it's got every sort of different version, you know, whether if they had a different colour interior, different colour wheels, different, you know, spoked wheels, super fast, slim, all that kind of thing, tow hook. It lists everything, and that's free. And you can print it off, because I have done. So they're quite good.
I will say on the other end of the stick, if you like. I think Bryan mentioned it about some online pictures. If you want to go and join a civil war, go and have a look have a look for the Enterprise, the original Enterprise. There's a discussion group it's currently held in the Smithsonian Museum in the States. And it's been photoed that many times. Nobody knows what colour it is. Even the people that created it don't know what colour it is. And if the sun shines from the west, it's one colour. If the sun shines from the east, it's a different colour. So even non-AI photographs can be, I won't say they're not meant to be misleading, but the light of the photograph will give you a completely different colour than, you know, unless somebody actually, like you say, if you go to Google and it will take you to a website that said they use colour ABC, you're taking your best shot at it, really. Unless it's a plastic kit build where it's, you know, I guess to a certain extent predetermined what colours you should be using. For us, we're going as near as damn it with a certain sense of freedom.
Yeah, but then you're getting into the scale model version of Code 3. You know, with what colour is olive drab,
or British racing green.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we had this discussion before, and as I say, it depends on the primer, it depends on the pressure, it depends on the manufacturer. There's so many different, you know, variations that you can't allow for. If it's a pretty good approximation, that's all you can hope for, really. I think.
That's the beauty of being shade blindness, you see. It all looks black to me.
He thinks he's painting a white car with a yellow can. I mean, that's an help, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
The amount of discussions we've had, me and my missus, when we're looking at cars once. I said, I like that one over there. She said, what, that green one? I said, no, that black one. She said, no, it's green. I said, no, it's black. It's going on. Oh, yes. And it goes on. Really.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we've just hit our 2-hour mark, 2 minutes past. Won't keep anybody longer than necessary. My thanks to Mr. Martin, to Phil, to Luke, to Bryan.
Yeah, apologies for the camera and the lateness. That couldn't be avoided, really.
Bryan, at least you weren't
didn't get electric till 7 o'clock.
At least you weren't upside down. I was upside down.
Yeah, we had the first 20 minutes of him going upside. It was like we're going to have another technical issue, but we got through it. So my thanks to the guys, as always, for their support, for joining, giving up their free time to join us tonight. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's all done freely, but it helps us to advertise the channel if we've got some good statistics, I guess.
That's worth a little nag, though, PJ, because Moz was bang on the other night. YouTube, you need to change it. What subscription is? It isn't a subscription. It's following.
It should be following. The word is wrong. We don't charge anybody.
It doesn't cost anything to subscribe.
That being said, if you want to help us out, we now have a QR code where you can donate to the channel and become a benefactor. And if you take part in our monthly builds, you'll get a nice little gold, silver, or blue icon, depending on
a cuddly toy.
Yeah, Martin will send you a cuddly toy because he said that, not me.
And he's going to send out Hot Wheels books to everyone as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He'll show you what you could have had.
What you could have had.
Yeah, you can scan it with your phone. My thanks to Phil for doing that for us. You can scan that with your phone. It will give you a link, and you can help us out. It's much appreciated, as always, and thanks to those that already have. We'll take that down, so I'm not shamelessly. I say I'll take it down. Graphics.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
There you go. There you go. So, thanks to everybody in the chat. As always, it's much appreciated that you join us every fortnight, 8 o'clock, unless we have issues, which we had the last time round, but we battled through it, and it's much appreciated. We love seeing everybody in the chat and the questions and comments. It's a good laugh. A 3D print of Martin as a prize, says Russ.
Yes, upside down one as well.
Upside down, yeah.
Well, I'm off camping with a jar of Vaseline, so I shall see you all, boys.
Apparently.
Yeah. Get that crack filled in, boy.
All righty. From Martin, Phil, Luke, Bryan, myself, PJ, it's been a pleasure as always, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time with a brand new subject, a new set of questions. As long as Chat GPT keeps us going, we'll have another session. So it's good night from me.
Good night from me.
Good night from Phil.
Good night from me.
Good night from Bryan. Good night from Luke. And we'll see you soon, boys. Cheers.